Hello everyone. So I want to take a moment to talk about Chinese Kung Fu, which may mean a lot of things to a lot of people, but really the way I hold it and think of it is Kung Fu is the process of transformation that occurs from persisting at something with integrity over time. And what it leads to is skill, perhaps unusual skill, and that could manifest in really any arena. Somebody can have unique skills as a hockey player, as a carpenter, as a cook, as a martial artist. So really, skill is the residue of the sensitivity with which something's done. And so a lot of the skills that we develop are byproducts of our practice. So you can't just set out to directly develop the thing itself. You have to develop the medium through which it happens, which in this case is our body, but really it's mind, body, spirit. It's awareness of all that we are. And in a sense, what we're learning to do is to be neutral, because neutrality leads to clarity and capacity. So Tai Chi is physically the same disposition as inquiry is mentally and emotionally, by which I mean it's the willingness to see what's here without filling the space with something known, without moving into action. I need to receive the energy of my partner or opponent, however you want to think of it, and let it in. If I don't let it in, I can't gain control of it. I can't meet it and try to keep it out there. I have to receive it and let it in. In the same way that if I want to transform emotional content or story, I have to let it in. I can't run away from it. I can't move away. I have to be willing to meet it and really see what's there. Not my projection of what I imagine it to be, but what's really there. And when I really meet what's there, I begin the process of transforming it. So Tai Chi allows us to release the body so we can be neutral, relaxed, soft, changeable, open. There's lots of ways you could phrase it. This same disposition translates into meditation, translates into inquiry, translates into healing, really. So the activity itself may be different, but the method, the process with which it's done stays the same. And so this is where bringing these activities together clarifies each individual activity to its relationship. Meaning the more released and relaxed I am in the body, the calmer and quieter my mind will be, which will lead to clearer and more accurate perception of what's going on. This is really useful. So Tai Chi is a complete path as I teach it. It's a spiritual path. By spiritual, I mean just to be awake, to no longer live in delusion. This is to be enlightened, to be clear, to be willing to be present. These are the conditions. It's not out there, it's not fanciful. It's simple, but not easy, because the tendency is to move away. And having been conditioned to move away from what we don't like our whole lives, it takes some doing to turn the energy around from being projected out there to drawn in here. So the more we practice, the more we free up the body, the more we let go of the restriction and rigidity that tightens the body, that leads us to live in our head in abstraction. We have to clear the space within, just like you would clear a lot of land to build your house. You need to be here in order to observe what's there. If we give up here for there, we're lost in it. And without that clarity, that orientation, that fundamental distinction, we're adrift in mind. So learning to integrate the mind into the body through the practice of Tai Chi, Chinese Kung Fu, is a way of creating the conditions for integration, harmony, and synthesis. So we release the body through our physical practice. We learn to recognize the movement of mind through our stillness practice. And we learn to rest in the loving silence of being by developing our capacity emotionally to meet and to feel into the different qualities that emerge within our experience, without describing and talking about them by moving into mind, and without moving away by getting up and doing something through the body. We stay, and in staying with it, we learn to be still. And stillness is the ruler of motion.